Don't just cut random people off from your life. Demote and promote people in your life. If you let someone in and they just didn't treat it right, demote them. Take them down a level or two. Don't just fully cut them off. The big misconception that people have about peace is they think it's like this ring and you're fighting against something. But the real premise of peace is that you're not even in the ring. I'm gonna start this episode off with a question. When was the last time you felt peace? I remember leaving this period in my life where everyone was just being somewhat fake. Everyone wasn't being respectful. Everyone had their own things to them. A lot of people would just do me dirty. I'm not gonna lie to you. And once I exited that period, it was almost as if my standards for friends just like changed completely. I found myself in conversations that I wasn't truly enjoying, but I just accepted myself in that situation because it was a peaceful conversation. I accepted the conversation because it was peaceful. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't find it passionate. I wasn't enthusiastic about the conversation, but I accepted it because it was just peaceful. There was no drama. It was to the point where I accepted the bare minimum. I accepted the bare minimum because I just needed that peace. I didn't care about anything else. There was no drama, and that's all that mattered. Obviously, this is a big dramatic analogy, but just hear me out on this. It almost reminded me of like a soldier coming back from home after like a hard war, and it's okay with the bare minimum, like basic things like washing the dishes or taking a walk. Like it's just that much more peaceful to a soldier, I would feel like, because they've seen lots of stuff. And coming back here, it's like we don't appreciate, the peace of washing dishes or the peace of taking a walk or the peace of even just tying your shoes. I don't even know, like just the peace of little things. And it was just the thing that reminded me of that. That's all. Obviously a big different analogy. This isn't like this is not me comparing myself to a soldier, but it's like you see what I'm trying to say. Obviously my standards are a lot different since then, but I share that because it goes to show how much I appreciated the peace after that pain. But now your peace is really important, man. Like your relationships matter a lot. People affect you whether you like it or not. The people around you it's just who you are. You are the 5 people you hang out with. Obviously, you know that saying, but it's really, really true. Who you are is who you're around. That's just a fact. Who you are is what you take in. Who you are is what you do. Who you are is what you believe. Who you are is what you value. Who you are is what you eat. Who you are is what you do every single millisecond. That is who you are. You're a collection of a lot of things. And you're in charge of what you protect, what you let in. And that affects what you let out. And what you let out affects what you let in. But I'm not here to make it more complicated. All I'm here to say is that under God, the next valuable thing that you have in life is your peace. Your peace. The moment somebody disturbs your peace, you have to learn how to let them go. People don't realize how their peace is the source of their movement. Your peace is the source of how you move and do your things. And we let other people inside of that. There's a good thing for that. There's a bad thing for that. You choose who you let inside. Like if you were to share a piece of your life to somebody, that is a privilege. That is an honor. They should take that as a privilege and an honor. If someone shares a piece of your life, it's almost as if it's a universe of information, a universe of everything that they've done up until this point. And they're sharing a sliver of that with you. A sliver of their values, their beliefs, their dreams, their goals, their passions, the things that they don't like, the things that they do like. They're sharing that with you. And if that's not a privilege, if that's not an honor, then I don't know what is. Vice versa. If you were to share that with somebody, it's the same exact thing. Whatever you share to other people, it's a privilege, it's an honor, and they should respect that. Our lives are worth protecting. Our values are worth protecting. Our goals are worth protecting. Whatever we hold near and dear to us are worth protecting. We should not be giving those to random people, random individuals that have no right to be holding it. Obviously, this doesn't mean be private to everyone you see. It's good to share these things. It's good to confide in somebody that you trust so they can help you make it better. But be careful who you share it to, is what I'm trying to say. That's why I don't like share my goals to anybody. Because it's like, I said a video on this, the dopamine detox. I might even make another video on this. Achieving your goals releases dopamine. Talking about your goals releases the same type of dopamine. So it's almost as if you feel like you accomplished your goal, but you didn't even take your first step. That's why I don't talk about my goals. That's why I don't talk about the things I hold nearest and dearest to me, because my energy is that much limited, and it needs that much more harnessing, and it needs that much more protection, and it needs that much more direction and focus towards the actual goal, and less on just sharing it to everybody. Don't share your life to somebody unless they will bring value to it. That's the truth. And I fell into like a season a long time ago where I shared my life to everybody. Anyone that asked, I just gave it to them. Anyone that asked, I just gave them to them. I gave 110% to every little question I got. And you know what that did? It was almost as if I lost who I was. It was almost as if I forgot what I wanted. It's like if I keep giving myself away and giving these pieces to these multiple people that can always use these against me and always have this thought against me and whatever and whatnot, I forgot what I wanted. I let so many people in my heart, so many people in my peace, that I forgot what was peaceful to me. I forgot what goals I wanted. I forgot what I valued as a person, because everything was basically infiltrated. Never let your heart be infiltrated by somebody that you don't respect. Never let your heart be infiltrated by somebody that you don't value in your life. Who you let in is an honor. Who you let in is a privilege. Never forget that. Because we let the wrong people in. Sometimes we let the wrong people in, and that's just by mistake. Obviously, it's difficult to know someone's character once you let them in, but it's really important. You know, that's why heartbreaks hurt a lot more, because you let them in. You let them all the way in just for them to go in and pull it back out. It's kind of like a slingshot. The further they go in, you know, it hits you harder. I just want you to remember that, like, your goals are important to you. They should be important to you, at least. Otherwise, they're not really goals at the end of the day. Don't share your goals to people. Be careful who you let into your life. You know, your peace is really, I keep saying it, but your peace is important. And one thing that a lot of people don't talk about when it comes to protecting your peace is they assume that it's like this lovey-dovey feeling all the time, like feeling peace. Feeling peace is the best feeling. Choosing peace isn't always the best feeling. I'm gonna say that one more time for the people in the back. Feeling peace is the best feeling. Choosing peace isn't always the best feeling. Wow. Choosing to let someone go from your life. Choosing to cut somebody off. Choosing to let go of this habit. Choosing to stop living the life that's not meant for you. Choosing to distance yourself from that toxic friend that says a lot of things under their breath. Choosing to stay away from people that just suck your energy. That's not easy. It's not a peaceful process to choose peace, but it's worth it. One thing I notice is the more I protect my peace, the more I can really differentiate what a chaotic environment is. The more I'm able to differentiate who a toxic person is. The more I can differentiate someone that can just suck the energy out of my soul. The more I can differentiate whether something is for me or not. The more I can differentiate whether I feel alive when I'm around somebody or whether I don't. The more you practice your peace, the more you know what fuels you as a person. And the more you know what fuels you as a person, the more you will practice your peace. It's a cycle. The sad thing too is choosing to protect your peace means grieving your old life. Grieving the chaotic life that you were very comfortable with. We would choose to drink poison because it's familiar. We would choose to drink poison because it's familiar. And there's a saying called, don't drink poison just because you're thirsty. Do not drink poison just because you're thirsty. No matter how much you want somebody in your life, no matter how much you feel alone, no matter how unpeaceful your life feels, it is not worth another toxic person. It is not worth another person that'll suck the energy out of your soul. It's not worth it. Any company is not the best company. And you could even notice it with some people that just step into a room, whether you feel peace or not. And the only way you can decide whether someone makes you feel good or not is how you feel afterwards when you hang out with them. Once you're done with the day, do you feel good in your soul? You'll know it. You'll know it. Do you feel good in your soul once you leave, once you're done hanging out with this person the whole day? Do you feel drained? Do you feel tired? Do you feel worse about yourself? Or do you feel like energetic a little bit? Do you feel excited? Do you want to talk to them even more? Ask yourself these questions every time you hang out with somebody. Even ask yourself these questions while you're hanging out with somebody. And the more I get older, the more I care about my peace. Like, it's like, I think everybody does that when you get older. Like, your peace is more important. And that's why you see like older people slowly choosing to be alone. Because people are just draining sometimes. People want a lot of things. People are people. That's just how people are. You understand? But it's to the point where your circle gets smaller because you start to realize what's peaceful and what's not. Who serves you and who doesn't. Who makes you feel like you can achieve your goals and who makes you feel like your goals are worthless. The older you get, the more you're able to decipher who is who and what they want. One thing I notice about peace is that it's not always silent. Like, it doesn't have to be you in the top of the mountains with the nice wind and the grass and all this kind of stuff. It's like a lifestyle, I feel like. Like, you don't realize you're feeling peace until you're just in the middle of it. Like, oh, you're working out, you're taking care of your body, you're going to church, you're spending time with just good quality people, and you feel like you're getting what you need to get done with whatever career or job or work or school that you're doing. And you don't realize you're living, you feel peaceful until it's like a random moment in the middle of the lifestyle, in the middle of the week, in the middle of the month, like 3 months in, or you have something stripped away from you. Just as toxic people are subtle, peace is very subtle too. One thing that helped me like choose more peace in my life is understanding that everybody is a human being. Everybody has their own place to go. You ever be driving and you see lots of other cars just driving? You just get like existential when you're driving, and you see lots of other cars just going to where they need to go. And when you're at like a stop sign, you see like lots of other cars inside the cars, and you see different people with their own stories, with their own values, and you have no idea where they're gonna go. They all have their own place to go. Otherwise, they're not on the road. There's a reason they're on the road. And it just makes you think that everyone has their own place to be. Everyone has their own place to go. Everyone has their own place to go after, too, once the day is over. Everyone has their own direction. The first thing that they think of in general, when they wake up, before they go to sleep, when they talk to you, there's something on someone's mind. There's an intention for everybody in their own lives. And the second I accepted that, I felt more peace in my life for some reason. And I think that's because I realized we're all just human. We have our own things we need to do. And no matter what someone says to me, I choose whether I want to let that in or not. Because they have their own intention. They have their own things that they have going on in their lives. They have their own beliefs. They have their own thoughts. They have their own values that they've developed since they were just a little kid. And it makes me think like, wow, like you've taken what you've known and you spewed it all out. You regurgitated it all out into this conversation or onto me. Basically what I'm trying to say is that you soon accept that everything is just a regurgitation of what you've learned. Everything is a regurgitation of everything that you've learned in your life. Obviously, there's an intention with everything that everyone says to you. But the moment you realize that everyone's decisions, everyone's actions, everyone's thoughts, everyone's comments, everyone's hatred comes from somewhere within themselves. You may have triggered it, but it came from somewhere. It comes from within them. It comes from within their life. Whatever they've taken, whatever they've regurgitated out, whether maybe they've regurgitated from someone else or regurgitate. Pause on this. You have no idea where they've gotten it from. Words are nothing unless you add meaning to it. Comments are nothing unless you add meaning to it. If I called you a blue elephant, that would not like affect you whatsoever, you know? And the reason is because you know you're not a blue elephant. You know deep in your soul you're not a blue elephant. If I called you an iPhone 15 Pro, would you be offended? No, you wouldn't, because you're not an iPhone 15 Pro. Does that make sense? You know you're not that. You added no meaning to those words because you know those words had nothing to do with you. Peace is an interpretation of how you perceive things. Peace isn't distancing yourself from other people because you don't like them. It's distancing yourself from other people because you love them too much, because you see where they're coming from, because you understand them deeply. So whenever people, like, I have a lot of people in my life telling me that, like, oh, like, you're being a punk, like, you're not saying anything back to them, you're not doing anything back, like, you're not like sending that hate comment back, you're not arguing back, like all this kind of stuff. And I realized, like, why would I want to stoop down to that level? The big misconception that people have about peace is they think it's like this ring and you're fighting against something. But the real premise of peace is that you're not even in the ring to begin with. And I think that it's kind of like a rage bait for other people. When someone comments on something for you, when someone says something to you, and you don't fight back, or you don't say something back, or you just don't even acknowledge it. Like, it's just not even a thing in your, like, in your field of view. Something else is in your field of view, and someone says something, like, and they notice that you've ignored it. And they notice that it's just, you haven't prioritized them. You haven't prioritized the words that they said. They will get offended. It's rage bait. It actually is rage bait. And it's a good thing. But this doesn't mean, like, you know, if someone says something disrespectful, you can always, you know, you can acknowledge it whenever you need to, say whatever you need. Lines and levels, you know what I'm trying to say. So yeah, your energy is really, really important. Whoever is around you is really, really important. Your goals are really, really valuable, and how you get there is really valuable. The people around you will help you get there. Choose them wisely. There's this book called The Energy Bus. I love talking about the energy bus. It's one of my favorite books. There is a man who chooses who he wants to surround himself in his life and which employees he chooses for his company. And he soon realized that he was surrounded by a lot of negative people. A lot of negative people. And he had this whole ordeal that he couldn't accomplish his goals. He wasn't happy in his marriage. He wasn't happy in his life. He wasn't happy at all. And he soon realized that not only was he negative, but the people around him was negative. The people around him had different intentions. And there were some moments where he didn't even realize it. And there were some moments where he did and he just didn't acknowledge it. And once you do like a detox of who you have around you, you will begin to grow. He soon realized, once he made that detox of the people in his life and the people in his company, things felt lighter. His life felt more manageable because who he surrounded himself with were the right people. They were peaceful. They brought peace into his life. There was a saying, if you want to get somewhere quicker, do it alone. But if you want to get there farther, do it with others. I cannot stress this enough. Whoever is in your energy bus, whoever is in your circle, those are the people that are going to help you grow. Obviously, it's within you. It all boils down to you and your decisions and how much you work. But whoever is around you, that's your support system. The reason why you come back home drained after hanging out with friends, and the reason why you You feel weird every time you hang out with this one specific person. The reason why you question yourself every time you're with one individual, there's a reason for that. There's energy levels. There's vibes that people give off. There's just comments that people say. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it's easier to just cut everybody off. And I've done that before. I'm not gonna lie, but it's not worth it, guys. Don't do that. Don't do that. But yeah, once you realize that everybody just has their own intentions, has their own lives, their own goals, you become less reactive to stuff. Things aren't that big of a deal when someone shares something to you. And you also realize that their emotional weight isn't your emotional weight. Like, that belongs to them. You understand? So to sum this all up, peace is important. Protect it, value it, care for it. It's your baby. And peace isn't something that you just stumble upon. It's not something you search for or you yearn for. Peace is something you choose repeatedly every single day. Not only is it a decision to choose what to do, but it's a decision to choose what not to do. To choose who you don't want to hang out with. To choose who you want to separate yourself from. Let's say you have a plant. You could have the best soil for that plant, the best water, the best seed, the best pot. But if that plant is not in the best location, if it's in the dark corner of the room, it's not going to grow. You have to remove yourself from that situation for you to grow. Like I keep saying, peace isn't, sometimes it's less of putting things into it and it's more of stripping things that are not meant for it. One thing I will say is that peace is not a pretty process and it's not an easy process. Even for me, peace is not an easy process sometimes. Sometimes I slip and I let those people into my life. Sometimes I slip and I accidentally share a lot of things that I shouldn't have shared. But I'm human. But once I do make those mistakes, I pick myself up, I learn from it, and I just keep moving. It's gonna feel uncomfortable at first choosing your peace. You're gonna get a lot of hate. You're gonna get a lot of feedback. You're gonna get a lot of ruffled feathers. You're gonna get a lot of people that disagree with what you're doing. Obviously, go about it well. Don't just cut people off. Demote people. Demote people. Don't just cut random people off from your life. Okay? That's just gonna cause more issues sometimes. If you let someone in and they just didn't treat it right, demote them. Take them down a level or two. Don't just fully cut them off. And then if they still act that way, demote them further. And if someone acts in a better way, promote them. You know, this is how it is. Demote and promote people in your life. That's how you should treat it. Don't just cut people off randomly, which is what I used to do a lot. And I learned the hard way that it's not the best thing to do. But yeah, choosing peace is uncomfortable. Lots of people will disagree with you. They're going to not like what you're doing. But at the end of the day, if you feel like you're at peace and if you feel like you're getting closer to your goals, and if you feel like that's a valuable and a peaceful state to be in for you to be closer with God, that's all that matters. You deserve a life that is calm, that doesn't need to be constantly explained all the time, that doesn't make you feel questioned about who you are. So my question for you guys is, what or who do you need to release to fully experience that? What or who do you need to fully release to experience that? Anyways, I think that's all I have to say about peace. Peace is important. Value it, protect it. It's your little baby, like I said, and it's important, man. Like, I can't stress this enough. It's this ball of energy inside of you that you must guard, you must protect. And you should also let some people in. One final thing I want to say, just to clear myself up. It's okay to let people in your peace. Guard it to the wrong people and allow the people that are right inside. Not all of it. Don't show it all. But it's okay to let people inside your peace. It shows them who you truly are. That's how people know you. And that's how people fully experience your light in a way. So, yeah, protect your peace. Allow the right people in. Decipher who's the right or wrong person by asking yourself how you feel at the end of the day once you're done hanging out with them. Seeing the people that they hang out with. And yeah, and just being around them more. But yeah, that was today's episode. It was about peace. A lot off my chest about peace. If you enjoyed what I said about peace, let me know in the comments. Answer the question down below. And yeah, if you guys liked episodes like this topic, I'll definitely do more of it. But without further ado, I'm gonna catch you guys. Peace. Peace. Peace.